So I'm super excited to have a very special guest today, David Pham, the older brother you never had. And I watched his videos and I was so excited, really doing a wonderful job. So David, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Thank you, Trey. Thank you. It's an honor to be on your channel as
It's
well.
an honor to have you. Thank you so much for taking the time to be here with me.
Sure, I can introduce myself very briefly. So my name is David Pham. I am a Vietnamese immigrant, first-gen immigrant child, and I was born and raised in Germany. So English is actually my third language. And yeah, so currently I'm teaching about languages also, just like Trey does on her channel. Also about mindset, about my life as a law student, and just travel stuff on my YouTube channel. If you're interested, you can check it out later. And yeah, today I think Trey and I are going to talk about languages in general and how you can approach it more effectively.
Yeah, when I watched quite a few of David's videos. Couldn't stop, so definitely check them out when I was watching. I was like, oh my gosh, this is what I'm always saying to my students, but I don't speak three languages, or you speak six languages actually. I have, some at a very low level. So you've actually gone through the experience of some of the overcoming some mental blocks, dealing with mindset, and applying the strategies. One of the
Mhm.
ones that I really like that you have is, well, maybe mindset first, and then we'll talk about talking to a blind friend.
Sure. Oh,
Yeah.
okay. You want me to dive into the mindset of like language
Yeah,
learning?
just a little bit about, on your channel, you talk about mental blocks and overcoming them, especially for people who might be shy and a little bit afraid of speaking English. Um,
Okay, got you.
yeah.
So just for the record, I always say I speak six languages, but like four languages confidently and two languages I'm currently actually on a basic level. So French and Korean is what I'm struggling with. So I definitely know how you guys feel if you're currently at a beginner level too. Maybe it's English, maybe it's another language. And I like still to this point have all these mental blocks, but I think there are two main components when it comes to learning a language and the first one is motivation. What is your reason? And it sounds pretty cheesy, but
It's
you have to
important.
yeah, it's really important. You have to clarify for yourself why you want to learn the language. And if your reason to learn the language is not strong enough, I don't think you can maintain it consistently unless you have really strong willpower. But like, that's the first thing that you should clarify. For me personally, um, I told this Trey before too, but like Korean, for example, I studied it first. The main reason why I wanted to study it in the beginning was to watch K-dramas without a subtitle. And then I realized quickly that maybe for the first week, that's enough to keep me motivated. But like after a
Mhm.
month, then you get busy with your life. It's kind of hard to maintain that motivation, right? And then now that I lived in Korea for the like last year, I lived in Korea as an exchange student. I was immersed with the college and I really love the language right now. Like I really fell in love with the language. So um, that's a stronger motivation. And some point in the future, maybe I want to live in Korea, which why it would be mandatory for me maybe to speak Korean, like not necessarily. I mean, Trey's living in Korea. She doesn't speak Korean, but like if you want to,
I
I
speak a
think
little.
friends,
Chogum,
yeah.
chogum, chogum.
If you want to be like completely immersed with Koreans, then maybe it might be more advantage, more a benefit to speak Korean, right? So that's why I currently study Korean again. The second pillar I think that's important is your system. And I'm not sure, like Trey probably speaks about that topic as well in her class, but like for me, I needed to find a way how I can squeeze in those time blocks to learn a
Mm,
language, especially with a busy life. Maybe you're a student like me, especially law school is pretty tough. Like you have a lot of classes, and then you have maybe you even have a 9 to 5 job, and in that case, you probably only have really time on the weekends. But if you're familiar with Atomic Habits, also something we talked
yeah,
about
yeah, we talked
earlier,
about it.
and you know that small input every single day, small practice is way more beneficial than a big chunk on just like one specific day. So for me, even if I don't have a lot of time in a day, I take at least 10 or 15 minutes. Everybody, if we're honest, everybody has at least 15 minutes to
Yeah.
study a specific skill.
Don't
And
scroll social media quite as
yeah,
much, spend a
yeah.
little time.
Even if you scroll social media, like you can set up an account solely in the language you're trying to learn, and that way you can immerse yourself naturally with the Korean language or whatever language you're trying to learn. So for me personally, I think because I want to stay consistent, I make it as easy as possible to study languages, which involves like a very lazy routine. Like I'm lucky that I'm currently at A2 level in Korean, which is why I don't necessarily need to study like with normal textbooks anymore, like we're used to in the classroom, but I can watch content now and kind of understand like, I don't know, 40, 50%. And then the other 50%, I'll just look it up on, Papago, if you're familiar with that, or like
Yeah.
Google, right?
Yeah, and
So
you have some good recommendations. I also watch, I like Talk to Me in Korean. That's a really great.
yeah, I really
Yeah.
love them, their
Yeah,
content.
they're great.
Those two pillars, I think, are the most important. Also, like, oftentimes I get this rejection or like this excuse that people like, oh, I'm so busy. I just don't have time. I want to spend time with my family. But yeah, I get it. Like, we're all busy. Like, I'm super busy. I have a part-time job. I manage like three social media accounts at law school, and then I go to the gym every single day. But I still manage to squeeze in, like at least 15 minutes. And if you don't have 15 minutes during your day, just wake up 15 minutes earlier. Or like at some point you need to make some sort of sacrifice if you
Yeah.
want
You have to
because
develop the habit if you want
yeah.
it. And it's like I know in one of your videos you talked about playing the guitar. I don't know if was that related to mistakes or but using it. Yeah, it's like you have to use it too.
Oh yeah, yeah, exactly. Just watching video, like me and Trey and me, like we're giving you guys like guides or like we're trying to be like guides and giving you tips, but if you don't actually implement it, then like you just wasted your own time by just watching our video
I
without
think that's
implementing.
a
Most of the time, you end up watching these videos without implementing the actual steps.
good segue into this tip of yours that I love about imagine you have a blind friend.
Yeah.
And as a way, if you don't have anybody to practice speaking with, imagine you have a blind friend. Will you say a
Yeah,
little bit about that?
sure, sure. Uh, okay, so how I came up with that is I was really introverted myself, like my whole life actually. But then I realized at some point that being introverted all the time could be like could be a disadvantage in especially the business world or
Yeah,
whatever.
you need
It's missing,
relationships, networking.
yeah, exactly. You're missing out on a lot of opportunities. But I know the struggles of being an introvert. So if you're too afraid right now to speak to a different person or you just don't have like native speaker friends, then it's a great exercise to practice speaking by yourself. And how I do it is that I imagine it to be like I imagine I have a blind friend, and naturally, if you have a blind friend, they obviously cannot see anything, right?
Mm.
So you as a good friend, you try to explain what's going on in your surroundings, and then you can just label different things. Like how I did it, for example, was on my table. If I have my phone here or something, I would try to speak to my imaginary friend. And obviously, if you do it in your room, nobody will think that you're crazy or something because it's in the safety net of your room. And then that way you can just like practice speaking a lot more, even without like another person. So there's really no excuse not to practice speaking. And you can even record yourself, watch it again and again. And in the beginning, you will feel very cringe, I think. At least I
Yeah.
felt pretty doing it, and you'll be like, oh, why am I doing this? Don't I have anything better to do with my time? But over time, you will see progress, especially if you record yourself. And maybe in a year, yeah, if you look back at your recordings from 1 year ago, you'll definitely see huge improvements. And also, the more you label, the more these sentence structures, you will memorize them in your brain. So, like, yeah, by using it, you will naturally be able to speak more fluently too.
Yeah, it's a different part of your brain, producing output and it's going to make you be able to think in English
Yeah.
without having to translate first. Uh,
Mhm.
ah, there was something shadowing. That was another thing that I think we both are proponents of, the shadowing technique. And um, it's a great way to see improvement. If you do record yourself, I think shadowing
Mhm.
you see, keeping up. You could shadow us now.
Exactly,
Uh,
exactly. But I think you should be cautious with shadowing too, in a sense that because I'm a big proponent of making language learning fun, right? And if
Yeah,
you shadow
me
like
too.
after every sentence and you watch your content, for example, Netflix series, and then you shadow all the time, it might take the joy out of the content. Like, you know? So
It's important to
um,
pick the right thing.
yeah. And also for me personally, I just did like shadowing for 10 minutes. And then
Yeah.
I did something else because otherwise I'll definitely not do shadowing for like an hour probably
No,
because
no way, not
at
that long.
all. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I think shorter is better with the shadowing. Much great advice. We don't have time to cover it all by any means. Want to say a little bit? Yeah, Seoul. Yeah, Korea. What's something that was memorable or something you miss? I know you really like it.
Hmm.
Uh,
Yeah, I think for the longest time, my dream was to go to Korea, and because of COVID, it kind of got postponed like two times before I
hmm.
finally could go to South Korea. But then when I actually went to South Korea, luckily COVID was not a big thing anymore, and we could go to university and join all the 동아리s, the student clubs,
Oh, yep, I
and
know that word.
yeah,
In my
and
vocabulary. So fun to recognize words I
yeah,
know.
student life was just like awesome in Korea, honestly, because. Um, I don't know, as an exchange student, you just don't have a lot of obligations in comparison
Hmm.
to my law school in Germany, which is like really like, I don't know, it's just like a lot of stress that I
Yeah,
couldn't do, right? But in
yeah.
Korea, I just took 1 year basically off and I just took some language class like you offer probably like public speaking and stuff like that,
Mm,
building startups and just
nice.
connecting to the Korean culture and then meeting all these other exchange students. Like literally at this point, I have friends from probably most of the countries I want to visit. So if I ever want to crash at somebody's couch, I can do that.
Nice,
And then,
nice.
yeah, I'm a huge
Yeah.
fan of Korean music as well. And
Got a
I don't know,
favorite? Who you listen to these days?
are you familiar with the K-pop scene?
Somewhat, yeah. I mean, not as much as I should be, but I actually am very up to, I have a new favorite group. They just came out recently.
Which
Uh,
one?
Meow.
Oh, okay. I don't
Have you
even
heard?
know.
Yeah,
Uh,
I love their song. I think it might be Meow. Um,
okay,
they're under Black Label. Does that sound right? Black Label, Black, something like that. I know some of
okay,
them. I'm always asking my students. So
yeah.
try me.
So I listen to a lot of J Park.
Okay, yeah. So it's rap, is it?
Yeah, kind of
A little
like
bit.
rap I think it's like K hip hop too. And
Mm-hmm.
then do you know BI by any chance?
BI?
Yeah, he's like a rapper, or he used to
Okay.
be a rapper from
I'll listen to him later. I'll see.
yeah.
Check it out.
Yeah, actually I shot a YouTube video with him. Like
Oh, cool. Is that the one? That's the, I think I saw like how you have one, how to meet a K-pop, was that it? How to meet a K-pop
yeah, oh
star?
exactly.
Yeah, I haven't watched it yet, but it's on my list. I'm gonna
Yeah,
work
yeah.
my way through every single one of your videos, David.
No, that was not on my account, but it was such a cool experience to like meet these idols in person. And like sometimes if you stroll around Seoul, you see like advertisements being filmed or K-dramas being filmed.
Yeah, I mean
It's
it's
kind of
yeah,
cool.
it's like the Hollywood of Korea.
Yeah. Especially in Korea, I feel like content creation is a bigger thing than here in Germany. Like in Germany, if I would film outside on the street, I would probably get some judgmental views.
Yeah.
I think in the States it's pretty cool too. Like people are used to seeing strange stuff, especially in New York.
Oh
If you
yeah, definitely.
but like in Korea, I also never felt like I was being judged or something. Like people just like go and mind their own business.
Yeah, definitely mind their own business. Yeah.
Certainly, like maybe for girls, like the beauty standards are a huge thing in Korea.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
As a guy, I
Yeah.
didn't really feel that, so I didn't feel judged at all. And yeah, Korea is just I just combine like very good experiences with Korean drama.
Yeah, no, it's such a fantastic country. I'm curious, where do you mind sharing where you studied while you were here?
Oh yeah, 소강대학교.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Yeah, they have a good language program, I think. Because they do the books, right? A lot of the books, they're popular for their books.
But I mainly chose Sogang because of their good location. Like it's 20 minutes from Hongdae and like from
Nice.
Suncheon 10 minutes or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah. Location is
One station.
important.
Yeah.
Yeah. There was one other thing while you were speaking, but then you know how it's like, be a good listener. Don't be, so I don't hang on to the thing. It's because I was still listening. So it might
Worries.
be gone. I don't know. Yeah. Well, David, thank you so much for being here. Yeah, and definitely be sure and check out his videos. Like they're so fun, such great editing. I, imitation is the greatest. What do they say? Imitation is the greatest compliment or something. I might have
Mhm.
to. I like that one. Anyway, where you have the computer and
Oh, okay, okay.
yeah, some great things in there.
Hmm.
All right. Well, thank you
Thank you for
everyone
having me.
for listening in. Thank you, David, for being here. And yeah, thanks so much. It was great talking to you.
Trey. It's nice talking to you.
나만 이렇게나 빛날 수가